John. Thank you, John, for inviting me here. I'm very, very excited to be here. Of course, some of you probably maybe remember I was here last year. So this year is very funny because this conference is right after CES. So last night I flew back, almost red eye. So if I look sleepy, you know why. So today's talk is actually different. When I was CES, we were focusing on virtual reality, VR. We actually talk about what's the future of VR, what does it take to make VR go into mainstream. So you can actually see our discussion, our panel discussion on this in our Facebook. But today's talk actually is focused on AR, augmented reality. We are a public company, so I was told I should show this. Okay. With that, I'm going to now start my talk. Today is going to be a very interesting talk because we're going to have a whole bunch of guest speakers, which I'm going to talk about today. The talk is, I'm going to go over the rules and guidelines for AR. And later on, we're going to talk about how we think the AR glasses should be designed. And then, of course, we'll make some discussions about it. Maybe a few years from now, we're going to revisit the rules and decide which emperors have managed to keep their clothes on. So we're going to talk about, Kopin is actually a 30 years history. I have believed in AR, VR for many, many, many years. And so many years when there were no such terms as AR, VR. And so we're going to talk about a little bit about the history. We started actually with DARPA, as John mentioned, early 1990s, to put wearable computer on mobile soldiers. And they gave us quite a lot of money, but it actually took us 30 years to get here. We presented these rules last year, the 5 basic rules to get AR. But later on, we actually will go into a bunch of guidelines, how to design the glass, okay, how to design glass. But in between, we have a lot of good special guests. We have Bose, we have Google, Z-Space, and PTC. These are very important examples. They are the ones that have done it right. I go back to the history again. I think Confucius is important. They always say you have to study the past before you can define the future. So today, we're going to start on the past. What happened? What has happened? What has failed? What has succeeded? And why did they succeed? First of all, I think that last year has been a very tough year for VR and AR both. I think we have been heading in too many directions, too many mistakes. And I think there's a clear path is actually evolving now. And I'm going to go over what has succeeded and what will succeed in the next 3 years. Back to the history. It started in 1990s. DARPA came in and they say, we want a computer on your head, mobile soldiers. At that time, the screen was CRTs. We were horrified. We proposed that we should do microdisplay. And that's where DARPA did. They actually funded us $50 million, $10 million a year for 5 years to develop solid-state microdisplays. And out of that, a lot of products have come out. As you well know, IBM actually put out the first wearable computer with us, and that was in the mid-1995 time frame. But we always throw around, we have cameras, viewfinders. The viewfinder is very interesting. It's actually a video see-through to take over our optical see-through. Okay, and then we have now, of course, have products like Golden Infinity, Google Glass, and then, of course, Solos. Some of this you can see outside today. And I think they will going to talk about that too also. With that, let me expand. I think the display components, we provide display components to military, to enterprise, and now, of course, the consumers. So our market share is pretty big. So we actually may be the right one to talk about what has succeeded, what has not succeeded, because we are providing the bullets to everybody. But first one to talk about is this one, Okay, a lot of people don't understand it. We're the sole source of the optical modules displays to F-35. F-35 is the most advanced helmet in the world. Of course, F-35, you know, is the fighter jet, the most advanced fighter jet. This helmet sells about $500,000 each, okay? And it's a very interesting helmet. If you look at it, it's actually all camera-based. It has cameras all around, so people can see almost 360 degrees in the daytime as well as at night. Okay, the cameras give the images to the pilots. In addition, it has a lot of voice, so the vision as well as the voice give them the situation awareness. So the pilot is willing to wear these incredibly heavy things on their head, it saves lives, in a very confined space. Okay, be honest with you, he would take it right off when you land it. It is very heavy. But it is the most advanced display system. It's an AR, VR system. You can see in the dark, see everything around. How about the other one? It's also very useful. The AR is again for enterprise work. Is this a fireman thing? This is one of the most bulky, ugly things they can wear. But fireman wears it. With a little thermal vision screen that we provide to them, they can see, go in there, they can see where the fire is. Okay, it saves life again. People will wear it. But of course, he will not wear at dinner time. So let's talk about what's going on in AR, VR. There's a lot of discussion about AR, VR. Today, I will concentrate on this part, the AR. Because people talk about VR, virtual reality, which is really a digital world, and it's AMR. There's a lot of these definitions, XR, and now people, I think, get very confused. The consumer especially got confused. But AR is very interesting, because I think this is where mobile world is all about, okay? So military, I won't go too much about what's the status today. I think the military is using it, enterprise is using it, consumers rejecting it, and now we say why, okay? First of all, why people want it? Well, AI is actually an augmented digital world. It allows you to get a heads up. It's a horizon. You can see in the horizon. You don't have to bend down now. You can be hands-free. Now, of course, people put on the watch, put it on the head, on the body, but we believe eventually it should be all on the head. The human senses are around the head, so the best is going to be on the head. With that, I would say, okay, you want to make a mobile AR glasses. What are the basic rules? Remember, we're based on this 30 years old. In the early 95, IBM built the first wearable computer with us. And all these years we learned. The first thing we learned is the human actually comes first. Technology comes second. And that's hard for people to swallow, especially at MIT. MIT, of course, technology comes first, right? No, the human comes first. Okay, next one. The most important thing is humans really do not like to wear things on their head. It's very, very hard to believe that, but you all have their glasses, wear their hats. Let me show you some of the examples. These are the people, these are the situations people wear, right? People wear sunglasses, of course. People actually wear these earphones, or this earphone, or of course, yesterday we saw this. And then safety glass and the F-35 helmets and the glasses like this. Why do they wear them? Because they provide benefits such that they will wear them. They can either augment their vision, augment their ear, the voice, okay, of the voice here, or vision here. So a lot of things are augmented. All these are, in fact, AR glasses. They may not be smart AR glasses, but they are AR glasses. Okay. So the second rule is we have to make sure the physical world do not overwhelm our artificial digital world. I mean, you probably saw this before. This is terrible. Your human brain cannot absorb it. Extremely dangerous. I don't know why people even propose to do that. Okay? So your visual world cannot overwhelm your physical world. And that is another thing that we hear. People, again, putting too many features into the eyeglasses. They should strip it down, But third rule is situational awareness. A lot of things, especially VR is especially bad in the sense you get totally enclosed. Humans need some physical space, awareness space. So this is the thing. The two things are very important. Like these are the 5 senses. The sight and sound are very important physical senses. Especially sound. I think people have underplayed the sound. Sound is actually give you a two-way communication. Okay, vision actually cannot. Vision give you the physical awareness. The sound is especially good for two-way communications and with physical awareness. All the other senses are not as important. So your AR glasses have to focus on these two. In fact, I think every AR glasses should have voice. Should be voice control, voice-centric. And then you can think about vision, which give you the physical awareness. And later on, I'm sure both John will agree with me on that. So now go back to the voice. We think voice is the next touch. The touch screen is beautiful for cell phones. The cell phone is wonderful. It enables the smartphones. But when you go to the wearable, in addition to display and other stuff you need, actually voice is the most important one. It's the next touch. It's the next user interface. Without the voice, you really don't have good glasses. Now the question happens, well, why voice is important? Voice is very important. You have speakers, technology is already here. It's really the input to the voice. You go to the voice, things are not repeatable, people don't understand it, it's a too noisy environment. All these are voice things they have to solve. So both voices are actually much better communication interface. It's a user interface. The final rule is we got to have design that's purpose-built with the benefits. If you don't have the benefits in mind, and in fact, build the eyeglasses with the benefits in mind, otherwise, you try to jam everything in there, try to make a Swiss knife, and it's going to fail. So I think that so with that, I'm going to show you some of the examples that people have done it right. So first of course, we have John going to talk about the Bose frame, which is all voice-centric. This is the importance of voice. Google Glass, we have Jay here. It is actually very well-designed purpose. It's a very designed purpose for the enterprise. We will have Jay talk about that. And then we're actually going to talk about Z-Space. Z-Space will come in. We talk about a very simple way and how to the benefits. It's very, very, very good for simplicity as well as PTC on software simplicity. This is very well designed too. I think the important takeaway is you got to design everything for human first. Okay. The second one is we actually build purpose-based, and I think that Google Glass is a good example for that. And then of course, your Bose is the voice is the next touch. The voice is the next touch. It's not the touch phone anymore, not touch screen anymore. The final one, which I really don't have time to elaborate, as you well know, if you get mobile world, if you want to do a mobile AR glass, you really don't have too much content you can squeeze to the consumer. So if you really want mobile world, the content is very, very had to be poor, very, very, very skinny, and therefore you actually can use optical see-through. So many glass like Google Glass or Solar Glass can go using optical see-through. But as you get more and more complicated, it is a problem. Like a VR case, you have a VR glass. The VR glass is totally immersive. You cannot see, you don't have situation awareness. The way to do it is using camera. There are a couple of talks today talking about camera. Cameras are beautiful. They can make very good optical image for you. All you have to do is display to you. So I think in the see-through case, see-through allows you to be more mobile. If you use video see-through, even VR glasses can be mobile. A lot of people don't understand that. If you use see-through, video see-through, if you look at the Apple Pokemon is actually a video see-through. A lot of militaries all use video see-through. Nobody uses optical see-through in a very complex data given to you. How about the question in the mixed reality? Well, look, mixed reality is kind of a toss-up, But at the end of the day, I think the videos to see-through are going to win out because the cameras are beautiful. Camera can present to your eyes in the right format. Your eyes can, your human brain can absorb them because you can massage them with a digital processor. So actually, this is a very important thing which I didn't have time to develop today, the thesis. When you go through the see-through, the optical see-through is OK for information snacking. Once you get more complex data, video see-through is going to win out. With that, thank you very much. I made it in 1 hour. Thank you.